If you're watching this video, then chances are at some point in your life, you found yourself in a situation that sucked. But for some reason, you didn't do anything to change it. And maybe you're still in that situation, or maybe you eventually took action, but only after it became unbearable. Why is that? This psychological phenomenon is called the region beta paradox, and it's been explored by psychologist Daniel Gilbert and his colleagues in a study called The Longevity of Things Not So Bad. In this study, they challenge a common assumption that we have, which is that more intense situation causes us more distress or discomfort. They found the opposite to be true. They found that less intense situations actually cause us more distress over time because they are less likely to push us to act. Take this example. You're driving your car and every few miles you hear this clanking sound and you sort of just ignore it. It's a bit annoying, but you just push it to the side. You turn up the music and you keep driving. You don't bother taking it to the mechanic because the car is still getting you from point A to point B. Now contrast this with a different scenario. You go to start your car to leave the house and it doesn't come on. Or you're driving on the street and then it just breaks down. In that situation, you're more likely to take the car to the mechanic, right? This might seem obvious that, of course, you take a broken down car to the mechanic. But what isn't obvious is that the distress that you get from the first scenario where you're having this clanking sound every few miles can persist for months. And the distress eventually adds up over time to be more than the distress that you would have felt in the moment when the car broke down or when it didn't start because you resolved it immediately. And at some point, you probably would complain about it to your friends or mention it. It's still going to be there bothering you and causing you this distress. This is the region beta paradox. We are more likely to act in worse situations than in mildly uncomfortable ones. Another example, you're in a job that pays you just enough to get by, pays the bills, you have an income, but it's completely unfulfilling to you and there's little to no career progression. Your boss is kind of but most of the time he doesn't even know that you exist. In this situation, you probably would be better off getting fired because you'll be motivated to actually look for another job, more likely to be a job that you like or enjoy, that you actually want to be in, that might be more fulfilling than the one that you've been in, stuck at for years. This is the region beta paradox. You've probably seen this in others as well, like friends or colleagues who constantly complain about the same things over and over again. And despite them seeking advice or getting advice about the situations, it seems like they just never do anything to change it or anything about it. And sometimes we find ourselves in a position where we might have been the ones giving them advice. And it gets to a point where we just think to ourselves, when it gets bad enough, they'll do something about it. And they often do. But this is the region beta paradox. We are more likely to take action when things get worse than when they're just mildly uncomfortable. And we've all found ourselves in this situation, whether it's with our health, with our lifestyle choices, with our relationships, with work. We've all found ourselves just kind of roaming in this region beta without necessarily pushing ourselves to thrive and put ourselves in thriving situations. We just stay in this zone of mediocrity. So my question to you is this: what situation in your life is mildly discomforting that you're putting up with or ignoring? And what would it take for you to take action and do something to change it?